What are we in today? Well, I am in a 2020 XC90 by Volvo. And, well, as the engine shuts off and only the air-conditioned seat and a little bit of air conditioning is on right now, you can imagine I'm in a tranquil environment. Auto starts up and we're off. There's so much engineering in this vehicle and so much style and so much design. I could really go on, and I am about to for about the next few minutes here. There's something about Volvo that I think has certainly been missed over the years by a lot of people in the car market. And I think a lot of that has to do with exclusivity and design. Exclusivity and design with Volvo is really quite fantastic. And when it comes down to the design, if you're looking at the interior of the car, you're really, once you get in the vehicle, you know you're in a different space. You will be probably thrown off at first. It is extremely simple, very simplified for all the electronic adjustments. Got a beautiful start-stop engine and mode select features. Got this gorgeous sort of combination of this matte finish wood, but it's in a sort of a gray color in this model. But you got this lovely stitching that goes across. Quite a flawless interior, very jewel-like. A lot of little sparkly bits, lots of sort of crystallized plastics that really have a lot of reflections on them, almost kind of jewelry box. And you also will notice there's a lot of piano black or black finishes in the car, which I really like. And it makes for overall just a really beautiful, beautiful vehicle. And Volvo definitely has made some gorgeous vehicles, and this XC90 is definitely one of them. And I can see why a lot of XC90 buyers, as I was talking to Brandon over at Hamilton Volvo, thank you again for this lovely vehicle and using it for this afternoon. One of the things he mentioned was it's just extremely common, and I have no doubt that a lot of XC90 buyers in particular, buy yet another XC90, and they're on their third and fourth models. And I can totally see why. It's grown bigger since the first time it came out. This is a bigger vehicle, but at the same time, I think everything about it has just gotten better, whether it's the luxury, whether it's the road drive, whether it's feel. I think it's one of the prettier interiors on the market today. And whether you're talking about the kind of combination of the metal and the leather and the wood coming together, and the wood being matte finish and that sort of polished or brushed aluminum design, it looks great. But because it's a Volvo, there's always a ton of functionality. You got the center child safety seat that if I want, I can just pull towards me. Just a great convenience feature for anyone with a child in a booster seat or a child safety seat. As well, all the little kind of idiosyncrasies of the car, all those little things that you just don't realize until, like today, when I went to go use the washers. The way it sprays the water on the window, again, attention to detail. This attention to detail is everywhere in a Volvo, and that's what I love about the cars. They do such a great job of putting all this stuff together. Even little details like a third row seat. Now, the XC90 is not the biggest vehicle in the world. It's not an Escalade. I certainly wouldn't be sitting in the third row, but great jump seat for young people or for additional stuff. When it comes to those little details, like let's take those belt buckles and we'll tie them down at the back so that when you're not using them, they don't jiggle around. Let's make washer jets on a windscreen so precise and wash so well that they actually don't waste any water. The water goes right beneath the blade itself. So when you run the washer blades, it looks like there's no water on your windscreen for a moment until you actually hold down for a little bit. I have to say it's one of the coolest little features that I couldn't help but notice in the vehicle. I mean, aside from that, of course, you have a lot of other really great qualities in this vehicle, whether it's the style and whether it's the design. The ride quality is exceptional. The seats in this vehicle are so comfortable. They move any which way, and you have panels both on the side of the seat, and you can also view what you're doing here on the center console, because as you adjust those seat controls, you're going to get a visual representation of the seat in your screen, which isn't all that uncommon. There's a lot of vehicles out there that have these great center dash mounts where you have great clarity. Today the screens are so good overall. Volvo's, again, no exception. It's a bright sunny day. I can see everything very clearly. It's showing me lots of detail, and the cameras are fantastic. The surround view cameras do really look like HD quality, which is pretty fantastic. And I gotta say, it makes for a really great driving experience. Everything around the car is really built for drivers. Even as I look ahead here on the road, it's flashing at me right now because you would be surprised how quickly this thing gets up and goes. I got towards 60 kilometers per hour in a 50 zone, and I'm lowering my speed now. But right beside the HUD display that shows me my speed, right beside it is the speed limit. and as I started going a little bit too over it, it's reminding me. And as it just so happens now, it's actually warning me that there's a school zone up ahead and to slow down even more, which actually came up with a flashing yellow school logo, school crossing logo, which is actually exactly the kind you would find here in Canada. So that's actually pretty great too. I wish I could take a picture of it for you right now. But if you do have the chance, and if you are in the market for an SUV, you really got to come and take a look at an XC90. I just think it's one of the best made, best designed SUVs on the market today. And I don't think Volvo gets enough street cred for that right now. There is an R model as well, and I would really like to drive that, but I believe later today we're going to drive an R model. Thanks to the folks over at Hamilton Volvo again, my buddy Brandon, thank you again. We're going to be driving an R model later this afternoon, so we'll have another Volvo Tuesday test drive coming up. And be sure to check out our driving music that we had today. It was provided by the Buddha Abusa. It's called Buddha Monk, Life's a Mission. It also features LT the Monk.
Buddha monk shit. Buddha monk, yeah. LT the big abuser. I see the blinds beneath you. Entire species try to hide me secret. Societies are built on lies of undivided weaving. Reality is a tease, no teeing up for peace. Societies are built on bribery and riding Jesus. Coattail is a miracle windbreaker. Coke sales an element, but really for the undertaking. The vet bend in the water, fire mastery. You need to reap the earth for every mineral upon a piece. More than marijuana seeds, of the nature of the piece. Of the larger puzzle, making goods out of pharmacy. The kind of harvest that would make Jimmy Carter bring back the solar panels to the White House armory. I'm getting closer to the sun like the Father need to see the Holy Spirit so the Trinity can pass the keys. On to the little hustlers and pharmacy. 24 times around the sun and ain't no harm in me.